So Glass just came out on Blu-ray yesterday, and of course I picked myself up a copy, and I was really upset that I didn't get a chance to review this movie back when it came out in January. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I love Split and Unbreakable so much. I was so excited to see this unexpected trilogy come to a close. But the weather here where I live has been just so awful this past winter that I didn't get a chance to go out and see it, and by the time the weather started to cooperate with us, everyone was already done talking about it. The reviews were already settled in. Everyone had their opinions on it, so I thought, I could see it and review it, but it'd be irrelevant. So I thought, why don't I wait until the Blu-ray comes out? That way, the excitement for this movie and what the things everyone has been saying about it has kind of died down a little bit. I could watch it with fresh eyes, eyes that weren't like, oh my God, I want to see this movie. Oh my God, I want to see this movie. Eyes that were just like, okay, let's watch this movie. And so that's what I did, and yeah, so I decided to do my review after the Blu-ray came out, so here we are. So like I said, I love Split and Unbreakable. I didn't get a chance to review Unbreakable, but I love both of those movies, so seeing this weird trilogy that we didn't know we were going to get come to a close was really cool to see and really interesting to see. And right off the bat, this movie has a lot of great things in it, a lot of things that I loved about it. And even though I was excited for it, unfortunately, I can't really say that this is a 100% amazing movie. I absolutely loved it, just like I love the first two. Honestly, sad to say, but this movie kind of disappointed me. I was hearing a lot of negative reviews back when the film first came out. It seemed also very middle of the road. Like, for critics on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it stood at like a 36%. Right now it's at like a 37 last time I checked. But people on YouTube were either, this movie's not that good or this movie's not that bad. So general audience wise, it seemed very middle of the road. And I can definitely see why after watching the movie last night. Overall, I will say I did like this movie. It's a different movie than I thought I was going to get. And this whole trilogy is different than what you thought you were going to get when, like, let's say you read what the movie's about. It's a lot different than what you're expecting to get. So I really appreciate the movie for that. And overall, I do like this movie. But like I said, it's kind of disappointing. But what is disappointing about it? Because, like I said, we didn't even know we were getting a trilogy. So how can I be really disappointed by it? So let's go over a few of the disappointing aspects really quick. Spoiler free, of course, like always, but David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis, was such a cool character in Unbreakable. He was really likable. Even though he was different than most people, you really related to him. But here in this movie, I don't know why they did this, but he's kind of a side character. And that's not really the point, considering he's the main hero of this whole trilogy. He was the main hero in Unbreakable. Unbreakable, he was the hero, and Samuel L. Jackson was the villain. Whereas in this movie, you see him in the beginning. The beginning is really great. The first act of the movie, I really, really loved. It's about Bruce Willis finding James McAvoy's character, like the cliffhanger from Split that we were getting. And so that whole part of the movie I really, really liked. But then once it gets towards the middle of the movie, you don't really see him until towards the end of the movie. And I don't know why they did that. He doesn't really have a lot of dialogue in the movie too, which was kind of disappointing because like I said, he's the hero. He was the best part of Unbreakable, and seeing his cameo in Split, everyone was just like, oh my gosh, that's David Dunn. This is a sequel to Unbreakable. So having him just kind of sidelined in this movie, not really doing all that much, and being reduced to like a side character and not really saying a whole lot dialogue-wise, that was kind of disappointing. Now, I did say that the beginning of the movie I really, really loved, and the first two acts I stand by are the best parts of this movie. The beginning deals with David Dunn going after James McAvoy, and then the middle part of the movie is kind of like this psychiatric hospital scene, and that's okay. We knew we were going to get that from the trailer. I just didn't know we were going to get as much as we did. But there's a major problem with that, in that there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of exposition in that throughout the whole movie, but mainly the first two acts. A lot of explaining, a lot of telling the audience what we need to know. M. Night Shyamalan does that in his movies from time to time, but here he just really, really just tells you everything. And at the end of the movie, again, no spoilers, the end of the movie, one of the characters explains what's going on. You know, basically explains the twist to you, even though I was watching and I'm like, oh, so he did, and then she said it, and I'm like, okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that explanation. I wasn't able to piece it together, so thank you. I get you need exposition in a movie like this because this whole trilogy is so weird from the normal filmmaking perspective that you need some exposition, but you don't need as much to the point where you're literally telling the audience, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. It's like, okay, we can piece certain things together. You just have to hint at it. And of course, everyone was talking about the ending and how the ending ruined it for a lot of people. I don't think the ending ruined it for me. I can understand what people were saying, but the ending definitely was something I was not expecting. Of course, there's the twist at the end, and I didn't mind the twist. A lot of people didn't like it. I can understand why people didn't like it. It's kind of a wait, what type thing. Not like in a wait, what, like exciting type thing. It's like a confusing wait, what, where you don't know what to think of it. And I was okay with it. There's actually 2 twists. The first one was kind of a small one. It has to do with James McAvoy. I really liked that. I thought that was a nice addition to James McAvoy's character, as well as piecing together Split and Unbreakable into this movie. But then the big one at the end, it was just kind of, it left me confused a little bit. It's like, what exactly is going on with it? And when I sat down and thought about it, I was like, okay, I'm okay with it. You know, I'm okay with the big twist. A lot of people, like I said, didn't like it. I'm okay with it overall. And again, no spoilers, but I was kind of let down with how the 3 main characters, Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy, were treated at the very end of the movie. They could have done more with it. If there's one thing that I can say about the whole ending, I get what M. Night Shyamalan was trying to do. I get why certain things were there. I felt like a little more could have been done to give you that little bit extra punch. Because, you know, people really love Unbreakable and love Split now. So I felt like the ending needed something just a little bit more. And like I said, I'm able to roll with it. I've accepted that it is what it is, and I can watch it and enjoy it. I just felt like a little bit more could have been done. But now, with that being said, there is a lot that I love about this movie. Like I said at the beginning, I really liked what they were doing in the beginning. I really loved, honestly, the stuff in the hospital. That stuff was so interesting, even though it was very exposition heavy. When they weren't explaining everything, I was really into it. I was like, okay, this is new. This is different. Let's keep going with this. And they kept going with it. Samuel L. Jackson spends a lot of time trying to get to James McAvoy's character. And Samuel L. Jackson, when he actually starts talking, is phenomenal in this movie. This is one of my favorite Samuel L. Jackson performances, honestly. His character, not just this movie, but he really shines in this movie once he starts talking. He's playing that same character that he did in Unbreakable, and seeing a continuation of that was really cool, and seeing him and James McAvoy and Bruce Willis at the end go at it was really cool to see. There is a lot of action in this movie too, and I wasn't expecting a lot of action. I wasn't expecting like Marvel style action. I was honestly expecting more of a psychological drama thriller type, like how the first 2 movies were. So seeing the action, it is pretty cool. However, there is some complaints about how the action is filmed. There's a lot of POV shots, and I don't know if this is because of Bruce Willis's age, but it seemed like the fights with him and James McAvoy were kind of slowed down a little bit, because, you know, James McAvoy, he's in his 30s, he's really muscular, and Bruce Willis is kind of older now, so I don't know if James McAvoy was told to don't make it, like, don't actually hurt Bruce Willis type thing, so kind of slow down a little bit, or if that's just the way they filmed it. But either way, besides that, it's really cool. It's overall well filmed. I just didn't like the POV stuff, really. So overall, I liked Glass, but it is kind of a disappointing movie. I wanted to love this movie. I wanted a little bit more focused narrative in the movie. That's another issue. Some parts felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. And like I said, the twist, a lot of people hated it. I thought it was fine. The ending I thought was fine. I think if I would have seen this movie in theaters, I would have been like, no, I didn't like this movie. It really let me down. I would have given it a 0. I would have given it 0 stars, whatever I was giving it at the time. So I think I needed to wait to see this movie, to lower my expectations a little bit, and say to myself, okay, we're just seeing the movie Glass. We're not seeing this epic conclusion that I wanted it to be. And with that, I found myself enjoying the movie, even though I was let down with it. So it's kind of middle of the road. I am leaning more towards the positive side because overall, I did enjoy myself. There's just a lot of stuff that bugged me about it. So even though I bought the Blu-ray, I would still say this movie is a wait for the Redbox type movie. There's a lot to love, a lot that is mainly frustrating, but not for average moviegoers, I would say. I would say if you're a huge fan of Unbreakable and Split, then definitely check out this movie. Just don't expect it to be as good as those movies. If you haven't seen Unbreakable or Split, then I would just skip this one. You're probably going to hate this movie. So let me know what you guys thought about Glass in the comment section, and which one's your favorite out of the trilogy. I personally still like Unbreakable. Split is a very close second, though. Unfortunately, Glass would have to go on the bottom, just because I love the first two so much. So whatever your thoughts on it, let me know in the comment section. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, click right here. And I'll see you guys next time.